mystery. Its dense gnarled woods loomed over the town like a cursed shadow, but none dared speak of the horrors within, at least, not openly. The stories of the ghost triplets were whispered by campfires, half-believed tales meant to frighten children into staying away from the woods. The truth was far more terrifying than fiction. Autumn had just begun, and the leaves were turning blood red as the crisp chill of the season set in. Mia, a city girl spending her first weekend in Deadwoodfalls, thought the stories were nothing more than old superstitions. A modern woman, she didn't fear ghosts or spirits. In fact, she was drawn to the woods and their legends. She convinced her boyfriend Tyler and her best friend Sarah to venture into the infamous woods for an adventure. Let's prove that these stories are nonsense, Mia said as she tied her hiking boots. It'll be fun. The sun was beginning to set as they entered Deadwoodfalls woods. The trees were stretching tall and skeletal around them. The air was thick with silence, but every now and then, a soft whisper seemed to float between the trees, as though the woods themselves were alive. Tyler, who had grown up hearing these tales, hesitated at the entrance. I don't like this, he muttered. The ghost triplets. People disappear in these woods. Oh, please, Mia scoffed, waving off her concerns. It's just a story. Sarah shot Tyler a look of reassurance. We're just walking for an hour and then heading back. What's the worst that can happen? As they ventured deeper, the air seemed to grow colder, heavier. The trees became more twisted, their branches like skeletal arms reaching toward them. The trail faded into the underbush until it was gone, and they found themselves surrounded by nothing but wilderness. That's weird, Mia said, squinting at her phone. I had a signal earlier. Tyler felt a sinking dread creep into his stomach. We should turn back. But just as the words left his mouth, a child's laugh echoed through the woods. The sound was light, playful, and unmistakably close. Mia froze, glancing at Sarah, who looked equally unnerved. Do you hear that? Sarah asked. Another giggle echoed, closer this time. And then came the rustling of leaves behind them. Tyler spun around, his heart racing. There was no one there. The laughter, however, continued. This time it sounded like multiple voices, interweaving like a haunting melody. This isn't funny, Tyler said, his voice shaky. We need to leave. Without waiting for a response, he began walking back the way they came. But the woods had changed. The trail was gone, the trees unfamiliar. It was as though the woods had shifted, trapping them. Mia's breath hitched in her throat as a faint shape emerged from between the trees. A small child, no older than 8, wearing a dirty white dress. Her eyes were hollow, her skin pale as moonlight. The girl's lips curled into a smile. The child asked, her voice soft, almost melodic. Another laugh echoed from behind her, and then 2 more figures stepped into view, identical to the first. The triplets. Sarah grabbed Mia's arm. We need to go now! The 3 friends backed away, their eyes locked on the ghostly children who moved in unison. The triplets didn't follow immediately, but merely watched, their hollow eyes tracking every movement. Tyler turned and broke into a run, pulling Mia and Sarah along with him. But no matter how fast they ran, the laughter followed, close, then far, then near again. It was everywhere. I told you, Tyler shouted. I told you this wasn't a joke. They stumbled through the woods, panting, disoriented, until Mia spotted clearly ahead, relief washing over her. But as they broke into the open, her stomach dropped. The clearing was filled with graves, small and unmarked, save for 3 headstones standing side by side, the triplets' graves. Suddenly, the air turned frigid. Mia's breath came out in puffs of white fog as the temperature plummeted. The triplets appeared again, this time standing just a few feet away, their expressions unreadable.
We never left.
One whispered, her voice like the rustling of leaves.
We're still here.
Another giggled. Mia's knees buckled as the realization hit her. These woods weren't just haunted. They were the ghosts' domain, a place where the living had no power, no control. The triplets didn't just haunt the woods. They were the woods. Sarah screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the oppressive silence. The ghostly children circled them, now, their eyes black pits of void.
Stay with us.
The third triplet whispered,
We'll never leave.
and then the woods closed in, and the 3 friends vanished, swallowed by the curse of Deadwoodfalls. The next day, the town would whisper of the missing hikers, lost like so many before them, but they knew the truth. No one left Deadwoodfalls woods, not alive, anyway.